Right now, police have a message to drivers after a handful of recent hit-and-run incidents in our area, including a semi-driver accused of killing a motorcyclist.
And a Sun Prairie teenager has been charged for sexually assaulting his teammate and filming it.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
And thanks for joining us. An Illinois man is in police custody after a fatal hit and run in Janesville Wednesday morning.
Police say he didn't stop after hitting and killing a motorcyclist on Highway 11. Just minutes ago, the Rock County Medical Examiner identified the victim as 59-year-old Michael Bacon of Whitewater. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter has been tracking this story today and joins us from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with the latest. Adam?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, yesterday's hit and run is just the latest in a string of hit and runs in our area. Today, police are saying it's a matter of human rights. Yesterday's hit and run at the intersection of Highway 11 and I-3990 set the Rock County Sheriff's Office into motion.
Initially, it's going to start with securing the scene and things like that.
Captain Jude Maurer says they learned the cameras in the intersection wouldn't be able to help. So they turned their efforts to those who saw the crash take place, who they say provided valuable information.
Without the information from the witness, this case would have been extremely difficult for us to be able to solve.
Police learned the driver they were looking for was in a semi, with witnesses picking up an ID number from the back of the truck.
That one number allowed us to use law enforcement database in terms of the registration of trailers, the registration of the tractors, and that allowed us then to zero in and focus in on a specific location.
That piece of information led them to 29-year-old Branko Jovanovic, who they say had made it home in Illinois, purposefully avoiding toll roads along the way to avoid being caught on highway cameras. This just the latest in a string of hit and runs in south central Wisconsin, with several in the Madison area in recent weeks. Maurer says it needs to stop.
It's a human life. There's a moral and ethical and obviously a legal obligation that if you're involved in an accident and somebody's injured.
And that a hit and run is bigger than just one accident.
It's really a human rights issue. If you're involved in an accident and someone's hurt, you're obligated to stop and help that person regardless of what the consequences are.
Jovanovic is now awaiting an initial appearance in Rock County Court, which he's scheduled to make tomorrow at 3 p.m.
All right, Adam Duxter live in Rock County. Adam, thank you.
To weather now, heavy rain chances are headed our way. Let's check your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti.
Charlotte, doesn't seem like that right now. We've had a nice day with plenty of sunshine and temperatures that have been comfortable for the end of fall. But let's take a look at visible cloud track. You can see skies starting to cloud up to our west. Right now they're not thick clouds, and the rain is still quite a distance off to our north and west, but it is starting to spread into parts of Minnesota and the Dakotas. By morning, it'll reach us with some showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures right now range from the low 70s in Milwaukee and La Crosse to the upper 60s across the rest of southern Wisconsin. Dew point temperatures, though, are very low. The air is very dry, but eventually it will moisten up and we'll see rain chances develop late tonight through the day tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms. So lows tonight will drop into the mid-50s. Highs tomorrow in the upper 60s. It'll be breezy as well, and there could be some locally heavy downpours in some of the thunderstorms. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Police say speed, not alcohol, is a factor in a crash into a Fox Valley senior apartment building. Officials say a 48-year-old Kaukauna man drove into the building around 6 o'clock this morning. He was trapped inside his car, and crews had to work to get him out. 2 residents were in the apartment at the time of the accident, but they were not injured. The driver has been released from the hospital. We are learning more about a crash in Marshall, where a driver hit a child riding their bike. A statement from the Marshall Police Department says the driver involved went into the bike lane on Main Street to pass another vehicle. They hit a child on their bike who was trying to turn left onto Hubble Street. The child was taken to the hospital. The crash is still under investigation.
Disturbing details come to light in the criminal complaint of a McFarland teacher who now faces 4 felony counts, including first-degree sexual assault of a child. Bond set at $500 for each count for Andrew Meeks. the 35-year-old teacher at Waubesa Intermediate School. Prosecutors failed in their attempt to increase his bond, but the court agreed with their request that he surrender his passport to ensure a return to court since he had previously lived abroad. The complaint says Meeks touched a 12-year-old former student inappropriately, constantly talked and texted about sex, even taught the 12-year-old how to find pornography on his phone. Meeks faces a sentence of more than 100 years if convicted on all 4 counts. A Sun Prairie teenager faces felony charges stemming from the alleged sexual assault of his football teammate.
The attorney representing 17-year-old Ryan Fulton called the incident boyish behavior. Rose Schmidt explains the alleged incident, and we want to warn you the details of the story are not appropriate for children. Rose?
Court documents showed the teammate did not give Fulton consent to hurt him or touch him, and he was in pain for days afterward. But Fulton's lawyer says he believes a sexual assault charge ignores the context of the situation, and instead he says the matter should be decided outside of court between the students and their parents.
Ryan Fulton appears in person, represented by Jordan Loeb.
In Dane County Court Thursday, 17-year-old Ryan Fulton from Sun Prairie was charged with second-degree sexual assault, sexual exploitation of a child, and misdemeanor battery. He was ordered not to participate in extracurriculars like the football team. Restrictions his attorney Jordan Loeb argues are too severe.
He's a high school junior. Probably the healthiest thing for him to be doing, which is in the interest of everyone, is to be fully engaged in high school, including extracurricular activities.
Court documents show Fulton and his football teammates were at a sleepover together in August when they held down an underage victim and Fulton put him in a chokehold and sexually assaulted him with his hand. Another teammate recorded it and posted it on Snapchat.
This is a glorified wedgie, so I'm not going to condone kids doing that kind of stuff. But let's not be shocked that boys wrestle each other, that boys do things like this.
There was a question as to why Mr. Fulton was charged as an adult. He is 17, and in Wisconsin, at 17, you are treated as an adult in the criminal justice system.
The alleged victim told deputies the maneuver Fulton performed on him was one that students had been doing to each other last school year until the football coach told them to stop. Do you feel like this is a form of hazing?
Do you call it harassment? Do you call it victimization? Do you call it hazing? Either way, we have charged what we've charged, and we're moving forward with the case at this point.
The judge also ordered Fulton not to have contact with the other teens present at the time and not to post the videos of the alleged victim on social media. Calls to the Sun Prairie Area School District today on this were not returned, and Fulton is scheduled to be back in court on October 15th.
New at 6, Wisconsin lawmakers are thanking the Air Force for extending the public comment period on the possibility of F-35 jets coming to Madison. Tomorrow's deadline has now been pushed to November 1st. Madison residents have been vocal about noise and environmental concerns, and lawmakers, including U.S. Representative Mark Pocan and Representative Chris Taylor, have raised concerns about data that's missing from the environmental impact statement. In a statement, Pocan urges the Air Force to reconsider conducting a takeoff and landing test to more accurately assess the noise impact of the F-35s. Representative Taylor is calling on the Air Force to conduct additional outreach efforts in impacted communities and translate materials into Spanish and Hmong. Centers for Disease Control is warning deer hunters to wear protective gear to avoid contracting tuberculosis. The federal agency says deer can transmit the disease to humans through bacteria in an open wound or through the air. A recent CDC report says a 77-year-old Michigan man contracted tuberculosis after dressing a deer, and there have been 2 other cases reported in the state in 2002 and 2004. More local news now. UW-Madison staffers are looking into how an unauthorized message appeared on a message board inside the education building. Badger Herald reports the video message board showed an expletive in front of President Donald Trump's name. UW spokesperson Meredith McGlone said in a statement to the Herald that they removed the message and that appropriate follow-up action is still being determined. Stotts Farm in Marshall is hosting thousands of people tonight for the first stop on Luke Bryan's farm tour. Nice big star, and Gabrielle Becerra is live off Highway 19 where people are making their way to that big show tonight. Gabby?
The backups down Highway 19 are gone for now. The doors opened at 6 and music is blasting as people finish tailgating and make their way inside for the concert. This is Luke Bryan's first stop on his farm tour. It's sold out and expecting 20,000 people at Stotts Farm tonight. Owner Joe Stotts says he's hoping it will spread awareness for farmers.
The last 4 or 5 years, agriculture has suffered. We're struggling out here, and it's important that people know that we're here, we're out here, we're still here, and we need their support in any way.
Downtown Sun Prairie restaurant owners say business was booming this afternoon for lunch. I'll have more tonight, including hearing from one of those business owners on News 3 Now at 10.
Gabrielle Becerra live near Marshall. Gabby, thank you. Next at 6, a long-awaited end to construction on Verona Road. It's in sight now. We'll hear from business owners who have had to tough it out during this major project.
And there's more local news ahead. A proposed City of Madison ordinance could fine restaurants and coffee shops that give out plastic straws without asking the customer if they want one. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 10. A somber message at the state capitol today. Almost 1,000 shoes filled the steps to honor the Wisconsin lives lost to suicide in just the past year. This is the third year the Center for Suicide Awareness has put on the Empty Shoes Memorial, and organizers say the numbers are rising. The display is meant to start a conversation.
I think we need to have the awareness. We have to start talking more about suicide prevention. Doesn't need to be scary. It's really just reaching out, looking, listening, caring about each other. And saying, let's take this issue and bring it to the forefront.
Organizers want people to know you don't need to struggle alone. If you need help, please text Hope Line to 741-741. Trained professionals who care are ready to help. As construction on Verona Road nears completion, a nearby City of Fitchburg roundabout is set to open as well.
The roundabout at Nesbitt and Fitch-Rona slated to open on Wednesday, reopening the road outside Bavaria Sausage for the first time in months. The city's construction project taking a bit of a toll on business there and on nearby businesses, including Monkey Shines just down the road. While the nearby Verona Road construction will continue for about a month and a half, the roundabout at Nesbitt, that reopening is a welcome change.
We're very excited. We're excited to have it open. We're excited to have all of our customers going to be back in here. I know just about everybody will be excited to have it open.
A major portion of the Wisconsin Department of Transportation's Verona Road project will be done in November, with 3 lanes of traffic open going both ways on Verona Road from Raymond Road to Highway PD.
Coming up in sports, we are live at Lambeau Field for the Packers-Eagles game. Jay Wilson has more on the green and gold's chances of staying undefeated.
And storms in the forecast tonight are expected to stick around for the next several days. Gary will have your first alert forecast next.
We're over the 2,000 mark on our Coats for Kids drive. We're up to 2,087 coats, and thank you to everyone who has donated so far. There is still time to donate winter coats and gear of any size that may be outgrown or collecting dust in your closet. You can drop those items off at any Clinky Cleaners location through Saturday, October 5th. A diehard Packers fan has made it his mission to see every Packers game this season.
It sounds tough to work that into your schedule, but imagine trying to do that living in Australia. He was inspired to do this challenge after his first Packers game back in 2014.
After the game, I heard about a guy from Australia who quit his life, moved his 2 kids and his wife from Sydney, Australia to Green Bay for the 2007 season, and this just inspired me to do the same. There and then I decided this is what I'm going to do.
When he was able to connect with fellow cheeseheads, it doesn't sound like a typical cheesehead, does he? He connected with fellow cheeseheads through social media. They've been inviting him to tailgates and offering him places to stay as well. He says it's been an unbelievable experience.
It's
We'll
really
take Packer
awesome.
friends from all around the globe. Let's go to Gary for a check of our forecast. Keep an eye on over the next few days of more rain being an issue.
Right. Yeah, tonight should be fine, especially for the Packers game, but things are going to change pretty quickly. You can see on visible cloud track how the skies have been sunny through much of Wisconsin today, but now some mid and high level clouds are starting to stream in. None of these clouds have rain, at least anywhere near here, but that will change from late tonight into tomorrow. So we have an alert day in the forecast for showers and thunderstorms that could bring an inch to an inch and a half of rain, especially from Madison southward, and that will cause some flooding problems in areas that have already seen 5 to 10 inches of rain so far this month. And then additional alert days are in the forecast Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. That's the period of time where we have the greatest chance of showers and thunderstorms that could bring an inch to 2 inches of rain or more in a short period of time. And there might even also be a potential for some severe weather on Monday, depending on how warm we get. We could see temperatures up around 80 degrees. Even though the air is dry near the ground, you can see some showers already starting to push into western Minnesota. In the short term, from late tonight through tomorrow into tomorrow evening, probably looking at anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half of rain from Madison southward. Much less rain to the north. There'll be a pretty sharp cutoff in this rain area. Farther to the south, even heavier amounts of rain, perhaps as much as 1 to 3 inches over parts of northern Illinois. And they've gotten socked too with the heavy rain recently. There's also a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms from Madison southward tomorrow, late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Gusty winds and hail, the main threat, where there's a slight risk area across northern Illinois back into eastern Iowa, where temperatures might raise into the low to mid 70s. There could even be a tornado threat there. Then as we move from the later parts of this weekend into about the first half of next week, the USGFS computer model showing the rainfall amounts through tomorrow night, generally about an inch to an inch and a half, and then you start to see more rain start to occur Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Heavier amounts of rain. The amounts of rain, according to the GFS model, a little bit less than they were showing before, somewhere around 2 inches in Madison. They've shifted the heavier rain a little farther to the north, but again, this is going to fluctuate up or down. Some part of the Midwest is really going to get walloped with heavy amounts of rain. The European computer model, starting out with about a ½ inch of rain for tomorrow, ends up with amounts that start to exceed 2, 3, and 4 inches once you get into the latter part of next week, and that's right here in Madison. So again, we just don't need that kind of rain. Live view from the WISC Sky Cam showing clear skies across much of southern Wisconsin. Lots of sunshine on the Capitol, on the Edgewater Sky Cam. As we check out the almanac for today, our high temperature, a comfortable 69, the low 52, and right now we're sitting at 67 degrees with dry humidity. So our forecast for tonight calls for skies to turn cloudy, showers and thunderstorms toward morning, low temperature at 54. Tomorrow, off and on showers and thunderstorms. It'll be breezy as well with a high temperature of 67. Future track shows those clouds thickening up tonight. The showers and storms arriving by morning with lows in the mid-50s. Lots of clouds, showers and thunderstorms off and on through the day tomorrow. Highs in the upper 60s. The rain ends tomorrow night. Temperatures drop into the upper 40s, lower 50s by Saturday morning. And then Saturday, look for high temperatures in the lower 60s. Should be dry during the day on Saturday, but more showers and storms arrive Saturday night. Again, just from late tonight through tomorrow, about an inch to an inch and a half of rain down toward the Illinois state line. 7 to 10 day forecast. Shower and thunderstorm chances come back Saturday night into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, ending on Thursday. Cooler weather at the end of the week.
We're live from Lambeau with a preview of Thursday Night Football with the Packers and Eagles, and the beat goes on for the Brewers in Cincinnati. Sports stuff after the break. Anyone who tells you there's such thing as too much football was lying to you, especially if you're in Green Bay. The Packers, unbeaten so far this young season, hoping that trend continues tonight against Philly. Jay Wilson live at Lambeau with a preview of some things the Packers think need a little work. Good evening, Jay.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks. Good evening, everyone. It's a quick turnaround for the Packers. Of course, they beat the Denver Broncos here at Lambeau Field Sunday. Now, just 4 days later, they host the Philadelphia Eagles. 7:20 kickoff tonight. The Packers have been riding their defense to the 3-0 start, but the offense has certainly had their struggles in the first 3 games. There are 32 teams in the National Football League, and the Packers are ranked 28th out of 32 in total offense so far. Yeah, we're only 3 games into a 16-game regular season, but Aaron Rodgers says it's time for the Packers offense to kick it in gear.
The standard and expectations are very high here, and we haven't met them on offense. Thankfully, our defense has not only been opportunistic but stout, holding them to field goals in the red zone, taking the ball away, putting us in good field position. It's time for us to do our part on offense moving forward. We're going to play some, a stretch of really good football teams. And at some point, we can't expect our defense to shut everybody down. They have been, but at some point the offense is going to have to wake up and start making some plays.
Hey, some local connections to the Eagles tonight. Corey Clement, the former Badger running back, is active. He missed the last 2 weeks with a shoulder injury. Number 57 is T.J. Edwards, the former Badger linebacker. And number 58 is L.J. Fort, who is Brad Davison's brother-in-law. My son Brett was walking on campus today. He texted me and said, Brad Davison's wearing a Philadelphia Eagles jersey, Dad. And I'm like, well, you can't blame him. It's his brother-in-law. Packers and Eagles, 7:20 tonight. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you very much, Jay. Wisconsin ties all around NFL rosters. Safe travels home. Well, it's still baseball season, most definitely, and the Brewers entered play Thursday riding a 6-game winning streak. Dried off from last night's champagne shower, they could trim the Cardinals' lead to 1 game in the NL Central. Marty Brenneman, Reds' version of Bob Uecker, calling it a career after today's game. And he didn't like what he saw in his finale. 1-0 Reds in the 4th. Orlando Arcia lifts one to Josh Van Meter. Oh, that is not how it's done. All 3 runs will score with 2 outs. 3-1 Crew. Ben Gamel, the next batter. Picking on Van Meter. When it's not your day, it's not your day. That one goes to the wall. That made it 4-1. Brewers, who are putting things together at the right time. Josh Hader closing it out. Brewers win 5-3. That's 7 straight wins. They trail the Cardinals by 1 game in the NL Central. It's not cliche when you say the Badgers aren't overlooking Northwestern this weekend. The 1-2 Wildcats started 1-3 last year, ended up winning the Big Ten West. The back end of the Wisconsin defense will start thin. Safeties Eric Burrell and Reggie Pearson have to sit out the first half after getting called for targeting against Michigan. Badgers head coach Paul Chryst isn't concerned about mixing the backups into the plan of defensive coordinator Jim Leonard.
That can be tricky if all of a sudden you've never played and now it's your first snap. So feel good with them there, and we're going to be tested and tested differently, and things are going to come up that you can't necessarily plan for, and that's where they've got to trust themselves and trust the plan and act on it.
My alma mater, David H. Hickman High School, Columbia, Missouri, was beating Smith Cotton 40-0. The game was over. Smith Cotton put in P.J. Allred at quarterback. Allred has cerebral palsy, and he also has a touchdown on the QP defense, going 80 yards for the score. Spoiling the shutout, Hickman coach Cedric Alvis said it was worth every stride and every point as he takes it to the house. Everybody winning on Friday nights.
That's amazing.
That's great.
And
That's
all the years from now, they'll remember that more than any other component
100%.
of that game. Kevin, thank you. Quick final check, Ariel.
Try this evening. We'll see thunderstorms by morning.
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.